thank you for talking to me. I've been actually looking over your site for the last about half an hour, enjoying it. I've actually got some great questions for you because it's really interesting what you're doing. And I just sort of wanted to first ask you, with your writing career, because you've got 2 books out, haven't you?
No, just the one.
Okay. I beg your pardon, because in your thing it says my books, and then it drops down to 2. It says Sky's End, book 1 of the Cassiel Winter series, and then it's Sky's End excerpt. So the excerpt is of the book 1.
Yes, and when I put books, I was being optimistic. I am working on the sequel, so.
I know. See, I read your Twitter. I read your Twitter feed, and I saw someone asking you about it. And that you said, yes, it's 30% done.
Yeah, I'm working on my sequel. I'm trying to keep people hanging as long as I can and writing as quickly as I can.
Are you writing at the moment?
At this very moment, yes, actually I am. I'm working on something for a social media, part of my virtual social media tour, and it'll be like a guest blog post.
Okay, so you've got all that going on. So look, tell me, just roughly, like, is this something you've always wanted to do, writing? And how did you sort of get your book discovered? Because I always love hearing this journey of writers, because it's so hard to get published.
Oh, it was misery. It was absolute misery. Not the writing part. The writing part was bliss, and probably, honestly, the best experience of my entire life. I'm a journalist, and I've always written nonfiction, and predominantly for women's magazines, a lot of lifestyle and a lot of health content. And I never really had dreams of writing a fiction novel. If anything, I thought I would write a nonfiction someday. And but I don't know, things change in life, you kind of change, and I had started reading a lot more genre, and just things were going on in the world of fiction. I got thinking, I'd like to maybe try something. I could do this. I had read Hunger Games, I think a year before it really took off, and I was so wowed by it, and I thought, I love the first person present tense and the active voice, and then one winter, my husband just sort of gave me that push I needed to stop, go talking about it and go do it, and I just sat down, and this book just came out of me, literally just. That was it. It came out, and the greatest.
So when did you do that?
I had the most.
When did you write it?
I think it was 2000. I'm not good with time. I think it was 2011. Throughout the most of that year, and I tried to sell it. As soon as I finished it, I tried to get an agent, and that was in December, and that was terrible. It was an instant disappointment because, of course, even though it's getting your first book sold with no experience is next to impossible, you still think somehow what you've created is just going to be that next big it. And so I had a lot of rejections and a lot of auto rejections, and so it was very frustrating. And yeah, I kind of gave up for a little while, and then I realized if I don't keep trying to do this, like if I stop believing in it, it's actually never going to go anywhere. Like it would just all sit in this, vortex, this black hole. And so then I went back at it, and I tried, instead of going just agents, I tried going straight to publishers and new publishers that were coming out who do, a hybrid electronic publishing and fiction publishing. And one of them loves it, and she made me an offer, and then here I am.
Wow. Tell me, did you consider self-publishing on Amazon at any time?
I didn't, and I think that's partly because I come from a journalism world, and I've always been published by an enterprise or something. It didn't appeal to me. I thought if I could try to get a publisher first, that was my goal. I suppose if I hadn't landed someone that second time around, I would have eventually published. And yes. I should say, in a way, with this new type of publisher, she's called Soulmate Publishing. There's not a ton of support going on there. She has her own book she's putting through, and I'm a little bit of my own agent. There's my own effort and my own money going into marketing the book. So in a way, I think it's a little like self-publishing.
So do you do the marketing for it? So are you saying, like with your book, you like you say you've had to be proactive in the promotion of the actual book? So in other words, you got it made and published, and now you're sort of doing your own sort of awareness campaign of it to drive sort of interest. So is that sort of why your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter and all that, that's you actively doing that?
I'm trying to, yep. I'm doing my own social media.
Yeah, okay. And so with your website, did you create this, the website?
Oh, you just cut out a bit there. Could you repeat that?
So, yeah, sure. The website, Lesley's blog. So I'm on that page now. I'm on your actual blog, but your website, did you create that and the blog? So you did all this yourself, or your publisher did all that?
All of that website is all my own. I found a designer I really liked, and we worked through the design, and I paid for it myself. I mean, I don't think that's unusual. Even in traditional publishing world, I've heard that not a lot of the big houses will even pay for an author's website, something you kind of have to do on your own.
Right. Okay. No, that's great. I mean, no, it's a really smart looking site, actually. I really like it. So I was just wondering how much you
thrilled
had.
with it. It was
Sorry?
a bit of a learning curve because it was a bit of a learning curve because the first group that I hired, I really wasn't happy with the design, and it kind of delayed everything. And before I finally sort of had the courage to say, you know what, this isn't going to work out, and then find someone else and cut my losses. So, but in the end, I'm very happy with it.
Right. Okay. And what about, I mean, I know you're writing this book, but do you have another job? I mean, you said you're married, so I'm wondering, do you have kids, and what's sort of going on in your life besides writing?
Well, I don't have kids. I am married. I could not imagine having kids and doing this. I do work full-time as a journalist, so I almost wish I was anything that didn't involve sitting and typing, because literally I write all day and then I write all night trying to, do the social media, doing blogs, writing my sequel, and then of course the next day starts all over again, and I'm writing for for actual pay, to pay for my new expensive hobby, as I call it.
Yeah. We've all got them, don't worry. It's called a dream. Yeah. I know. Okay, so no, that's awesome. So you're working full time during the day. Is that working as, did you say you're a journalist during the day?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I write for women's magazines. I do for Reader's Digest Canada, and some other lifestyle magazines we have up here, like House and Home, Decor magazines.
Right, okay. What about your favorite authors? Like, what inspired you to write? Was it, I mean, I think you said before you just felt like writing fiction and you went in that direction. But do you have any sort of fiction authors or even non-fiction authors that inspire you and motivate you?
Well, I have authors that I absolutely adore and love and fell in love with their work. I love Karen Marie Moning, Charlaine Harris, Cressley Cole, quite a few of the really outstanding genre romance authors. I'm just wowed by their style and their consistency and their endurance. I mean, it's unbelievable how much, they produce, and consistently. It's incredible.
So did that inspire you to write, or did you find out about them after you started writing a romance novel?
Well, no, I mean, I read, I'm a big reader, so, I suppose in all different sorts of ways you're influenced throughout your life as the different authors that you read. But when I sat down to write this, I didn't even know I was going to do it in first-person present tense. I think that it's a different sort of book, and some of the reactions that I'm getting, some people love it or they hate it, and I had no idea that, it was going to be this kind of unique effect and style, and I certainly can't think of anyone specifically that inspired that.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand. Well, that's interesting. And I'm just wondering, with, I mean, you say you've got another book. Is that, it is a sequel, isn't it, the one you're writing now?
Yeah, I am tackling the sequel. It's a series, so
right.
Okay. There's going
how many,
to be,
how many in the series? I always ask this. How many in the series?
Well, who knows? In a perfect world or universe would be, 13.
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea.
No, I understand. No, that's fair enough. So look, I'm just wondering, whereabouts are you? You in Canada, is that right, or?
Yes, I'm in, my husband and I, we just moved out to a beautiful spot in a rural area in central Ontario, which is in
Okay.
eastern Canada. Well, it's central east Canada.
No, that's great. It's just that there's a slight delay when I'm talking to you, and normally I don't have it. So it's really uncomfortable, isn't it, when there's a delay and then you talk and then I'm not
Oh
used
yeah,
to
it's
it.
terrible. I apologize. It's our internet connection.
No, the connection's not bad actually. I've had worse, trust me, but at least it sounds clear. It's just dropping out a little bit, but sometimes I have it and it goes, all the way through, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with my internet, But no, that's fine. Look, I might wrap it up though in a minute. I just wanted to ask you, how do you does anyone ask you about how to go about writing? Like, what advice would you give to people if they said to you, look, I'm thinking of writing a fiction novel or even a novel? What would you say to them to sort of guide them in the right direction?
Well, I think that if the experience of writing it makes you laugh, I mean, literally laugh out loud, cover your mouth, cry, get goosebumps, and you're doing something right because you love it, but also probably because it's really good. And I think you have an innate instinct within everyone to know what's right for you and meaningful for you. And when you're true to that, I think it comes out in a creative and artistic expression that ultimately will resonate with some people, and that's all that really matters.
Mm. Yeah, I love that idea. So, in other words, if it really has got something emotional, like it moves you in one way or another, basically, you're saying the story's worth pursuing.
I truly believe that. I couldn't write. I mean, I've tried. I tried to do some urban fantasy with vampires, and I just didn't feel it in any way. And it showed in the writing and the sort of drag that ended up happening, and I eventually abandoned it. I mean, you have to literally be experiencing it in a way. And I think that if you are, you just stay true to it and hang on and have faith and keep trying.
Yeah, and keep approaching people. And I suppose now they could even sort of self-publish, though, whilst they're still looking for a publisher as well.
I think that, yeah, I mean, now that is going to be increasingly the new model. I do believe that the whole traditional way is not going to be viable in the long run. And I think that self-publishing is a way to go. Definitely, I do think mainstream media, you're not going to get as much pickup in the beginning, especially if you're a debut novelist. If you are self-publishing, they tend to be biased that way, and I know because I'm a journalist and I was an editor on a major national magazine, and I saw stuff come in, and I know what gets looked at and what doesn't. But on the other hand, I mean, there's incredible success stories of people who are self-publishing, and it just gets the traffic because they do the right kind of social media. And it's just really good. The cream rises to the crop. I think that's true in everything in life. And sooner or later, the agents start knocking on that person's door, and then you can make a decision about. In a way, authors are probably more empowered than they've ever been.
Yeah, they can get noticed without having to be acknowledged, I suppose, and then have it go reversed engineered almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's. Yeah. All right. Look, I'm really love talking to you, actually, Lesley. It was really interesting, and I would love to hear when your new book comes out. Do you have any idea of when, or am I not supposed to ask you that? Does that a bit stressful getting asked?
Oh,
or
sure.
when do you think?
Yes, as I, am chained to my chair right now. Help! No, I'm hoping. I'm hoping to get it done. Originally I wanted mid-fall, but the other night when I was practically crippled, I thought maybe I'll, give myself till, beginning of December or something. And then it's a matter of just how quickly my publisher can publish it, or if I decide to self-publish, that'd be even quicker. So
Yeah. All right.
the
That's
goal
fantastic.
is Christmas, yes. And
Yeah.
it was great
No,
chatting with you.
all right. Lovely. Look, I'll be in touch anyway. So thanks so much for your time, and good luck with it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Lesley. Talk to you soon. Bye, mate.
Okay, bye.
Bye.